And welcome everybody to the free-for-all mess that is the Friday podcast. I am your third leg of the Triforce Tri-Hard Tri-Hosts, Maki Pins, straight from Riverwalk Lanes here in Amesbury, Massachusetts. I'm chilling with the boys tonight. We got Timmy Matero over here on the left side. What's up, Big Timmy? How you doing, buddy?
What's happening, buddy?
Nothing much.
I'm doing great. It's Friday.
It's Friday. It doesn't suck. It's good times.
It's fun Friday.
It's Friday.
It's Friday. I saw boobies this week. Oh, did I say that out loud?
Yes.
That a boy.
Breastises are fun.
Yes.
They are. We could say that because this is Anything Goes Friday.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Right. And the other leg, the second leg of the Triforce Tri-Hard Tri-Hosts, Big Brian Ather and the Coastal Crusader himself. What's up, big man? How you doing?
What's going on? Happy Friday, everybody.
Yeah. So it is Friday, and last week we were talking about some of our most favorite and memorable movie quotes of all time. And that gave us a really good idea to grab ourselves a nice top 10 list, the Rip in the Rack, the official Rip in the Rack, top 10 comedy movies amongst the three of us of all time. This is going to be a good one. Who does not like laughing their ass off at a comedy? And that was where most of our quotes came from last week, was from some of the best comedies that we've ever remembered. So we got a top 10 list tonight that's going to make a lot of people laugh or make people go, what? I never saw that. Because sometimes funny movies can be obscure too. You never quite know.
And I am older than you guys, so
this is true. This is true.
We may have we may have some on here that you're like, what? You know, and that's okay.
Kind of cool because that adds to the extra flavor of, you know, the what we call now like some of the classics of the 90s, the Happy Gilmores and the Tommy Boys, you know, and Adam Sandler and that whole Saturday Night Live cast went from the show to their movie sets. Mike Myers in Wayne's World and some of those, which we might hear some of these later anyway. But there was a lot of great comedies that came out of the 60s, 70s, and 80s too that are still classics. I have a couple of them on my list as well. So this is going to be a fun one. This is going to be a really good one. Tim, since you mentioned that you were older and that you might have different ideas, why don't you lead us off? Well, you divulged it.
Number 10.
You jumped right out.
I am not going to go down the list of my honorable mentions. I'll do that at the end. I will mention some of these at the end because when I got making this list, I was like, oh, I can't forget this. Oh, I can't. Oh my God, I forgot about. Oh my. So, number 10, I have History of the World Part 1 by Mel Brooks.
So good. So good.
Got the Ethiopian Shim Sham in there. You
look like a bucket of shit. You look like a piss boy.
You know, it's good to be the king. It's a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
So funny.
Big B, what do you got going on at number 10?
Number 10, I have a cult classic. It's a funny movie I used to watch when I was an adolescent. It is goofy as shit, and it is Biodome. With Pauly Shore and one of the Baldwins, I think it's Stephen Baldwin. And basically, long story short, they get trapped in an environmental Earth Day type experiment where they're locked in a planetarium for a year, and they cause mass chaos. And it is funny. It is Pauly Shore. So it's all like, squirrely, stubby dude. Like, it's surfer. I just like Pauly Shore. I like goofy shit. It's funny. It's got great quotable. Like, just, if you haven't seen Biodome, watch Biodome.
Viva los Biodome. And also, one of the few comedy movies Willem Dafoe was ever in. One of the most cult actors of history.
That's true.
See Boondock Saints.
Oh, that's right. He was in that, wasn't he?
There's a whole safety dance, like
scientist.
montage in it.
Yes, there was. They were sharing the mouthwash bottle with each of their toothbrushes. So my number 10, I'm going to kick it back old school since we started talking about and you brought up History of the World. My number 10 is Airplane. It could have been higher, but I just grew up at a different time in other movies. But that was one of the movies that when I was a kid, my mother made me sit down and watch. There's a few of these on here that have just stuck with me through my life. It is the biggest spoof movie ever. of everything. Because there was a disaster movie called Airport, and they spoofed the crap out of it and made Airplane.
Yes.
And oh my God, Airplane 2 was good too. William Shatner was in at the end of it. It is fantastic. But the Airplane movies, call me a jive turkey. You a jive turkey.
Anybody here speak jive?
Chill, man. Cut me some slack.
I do have Airplane on my honorable mention list. It's actually, I had it at number 11. So I've
never seen it.
Oh, dude, sit down and watch it. You will laugh so hard.
It's
beginning to end.
It's still relevant today. It was made in 1980. It's just, oh my God.
It is one of those few ones, and that's a good point. Brought up, like we've spoken about other movies like Blazing Saddles and other movies that could never be made now. Airplane could absolutely be made today, and it would be just as funny today. See the autopilot scene when he deflates to know what I'm talking. Yes. Tim just died. Yes. See, like I'm telling you, you want a funny ass movie to sit down and watch on a rainy afternoon. Watch yourself. Airplane. It's a great movie.
Yeah,
it's a great.
Sounds like something I can watch when it rains at camp this summer.
Oh my God, it's definitely worthy of being top 10. Even though it's not in mine, it's definitely worthy of a top 10.
So very, very good. Yeah. So, all right, I'm going to keep talking. I'm going to steal a spotlight here for number 9. Number 9, I'm going to bring it a little newer. I started bringing up that Saturday Night Live cast, and I actually name dropped the movie. Number 9 is Tommy Boy. Chris Farley and David Spade running the brake pad factory, and they meet Zelensky or Dan Aykroyd, who's a gem in this movie too. You don't have to say anything about it. We've all seen it. We've all laughed our asses off at it multiple times.
Oh yeah.
The comedy duo between Farley and Spade was just
gold.
Gold.
Farley, to me, it's unfortunate, obviously, that he fell victim to his lifestyle, because his comedic genius was everything from...
It's perfectly put.
Yeah.
And when you were a big guy, Farley's a god to you. When you were a big chubby guy like me, Farley's a god because he makes everybody laugh and everybody likes him. And you just want to be Farley.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch Farley on Carson or any of those,
that interview with Carson was gold. I saw that on a YouTube video. Oh, he's so good.
So good, but unfortunately so coked up that it killed him. I mean,
yeah.
Unfortunately, but he was a absolute comedic genius. Everything from his timing to his physicality. I mean, that whole him and Patrick Swayze, the Chippendale skit on.
Oh Jesus, yes.
And just how serious they both play it. Like, so he's like, "Oh, you'll get it." He's like, "Oh, I hope I do." I don't think so. Like. It's just so well done.
Yeah.
Every either big brother or somebody has picked up somebody's jacket that is smaller than them and gone, fat guy in a little coat.
I've done it to Timmy.
Fat guy in a little coat. Gold.
Yep. Brian, what do you got for number 9?
Number 9, I have another movie from my childhood that I absolutely love, and it's Ace Ventura, the first one with Jim Carrey. It's so good. It is the first real quotable movie from when I was a kid that I remember. It was Jim Carrey's coming out party, and who doesn't remember everything about that movie? And some of it, again, as we're talking about contemporary, if you look at it through today's lens, it's not a great movie for various reasons socially, but it's a funny ass fucking movie. And Jim Carrey is hilarious in it. And it gave us Alrighty Then and Like a Glove and all of this stuff. And it's just it's perfect. It's a perfect funny ass movie.
Yeah. I great movie. Great. It really is. Mine number 9. Some of you guys may have it in here. It's my favorite Adam Sandler movie, and it's Happy Gilmore.
Oh yeah.
I just something. Maybe it's because I'm a golfer that I can relate to pretty much everything in that.
We've all been Happy Gilmore from a time or two on the golf course.
We have.
I have absolutely thrown a 3-wood into the woods. I'm not going to lie.
I
Well, see, I put it there because it was made of wood.
That's my favorite bit in the whole thing. It wanted to
go back with its family and go home.
And then,
I didn't punch anybody, though.
But Brian hears this on almost the weekly basis. When I'm bowling, I will say, "Oh, here comes the putter throw."
Yep.
I don't know. I enjoy Adam Sandler movies, and that to me is, I think that's his. That and Billy Madison. I don't have Billy Madison in the top 10. No. That's in my honorable mention.
I like Billy Madison better, but that's just me. I think it's funnier.
Yes, I do. I do think it's funnier. However, for my purpose, because of my association with golf, I just had Happy Gilmore up there just because of and don't tell me I'm wrong because I don't.
You're not wrong. No, it's your opinion.
No,
you can't be wrong.
Absolutely.
So I'll go with number 8. I have Super Troopers. Super Troopers is one of those movies. I never understood how good Super Troopers was until I watched it in college with my buddies. Now, say what you will and think what you want about the statement I just made. It's funnier when you watch it in a group of people, no matter in what situation you might be in.
I have not watched it high. I will say that right now. I have not watched it under the influence of cannabis, marijuana, Mary Jane, or any of the devil's lettuce or whatever you want to call it. I should, because I fucking love that movie. It's not only one of my all-time favorite comedy, it's one of my all-time favorite movies.
I mean, if you ask pretty much anybody who Farver is, they know who Farver is.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, we all know a Farver in our real life. Hell, for me, for Tim, it's probably me. I don't know, but
everything about that. Again, some of that is because I was in law enforcement for a short term when I was younger. So for me, it's just the total.
Like it hits a little closer to home. We talked
about it last week. The
Lawrence,
whole
be quiet.
No, that's Luna.
Oh,
this is our podcast producing pussy.
Oh, Luna.
Some of that is we talked about last week. The whole rent meow.
Yeah,
rent meow.
Rent meow. And my whole shenanigans, everything. Oh God, great movie. Good call, Brian. I have at number 8. I've gone a little old school here. We're throwing it back to Belushi, Animal House.
Absolutely great
food
pick.
Fight is an iconic scene. That and can you guess what I am? I'm a zit. Get it?
Oh, such a good movie.
Or when he pounds that thing of Jack Daniels. I've witnessed people do that.
I've seen one guy do it. I don't know how that.
I watched him do it.
I don't know how people don't die.
And I'll tell you right now, my favorite scene in that entire movie, my favorite line is he's going on his rampage and he says, "Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?" And you got the two guys, Germans. Let it go. He's on a roll.
Let it go. He's on a roll.
I say it. I do. I still say that now. It's a great movie. It's relevant for the time. You could make it today.
Very much so. Yeah.
Yep.
It didn't really cross any lines like that. It was just a dumb college comedy.
It might actually do better today.
I think it would do just fine today.
I think it would.
Yeah. So I'm going to keep it old school at number 8 as well. This was another movie my mom made me sit and watch when I was a kid because she was a huge fan. I took The Jerk at number 8.
Yeah.
Steve Martin was another comedic
the
genius.
The new phone book is here.
The new phone book. Somebody really hates these cans. My God. So it is one of the dumbest, stupidest movies in the history of things that have happened. So I call my dog Shithead because when Steve Martin was staying in the hotel with the dog that he found, it burned down, and the guy that ran the hotel goes, "This is not stupid. You call him Shithead." I call my dog Shithead all the time, and I think of that movie all the time.
Yeah.
You want a funny old Steve? I think it was made in like 1976, so it's an older movie. But the comedies were different back then. The standard of what was funny and what was a good comedy was just a different level of movie. And I honestly think they were better. A lot more of the older comedies, like pre-1990, when I say older comedies.
Yeah.
Pre-like 1990.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That was that first cast that moved on from Saturday Night Live. The Eddie Murphys, the Jim Belushis, the Steve Martins, Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase. When that class graduated, they started making movies. The Caddyshack. You know, and
Ghostbusters,
right, stuff like that. Oh, I was a huge Steve Martin fan. I loved The Jerk. I could still watch it to this day. So good, so good.
So what are we on to 7?
Number 7.
I got Christmas Vacation. It's my absolute favorite Christmas movie. Chevy Chase. It's iconic. I mean, who doesn't? Every year, at least somebody in your life, you will hear someone say, "Merry Christmas, shitter's full." At least somewhere.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Tim's favorite rant, his favorite Christmas card is Chevy Chase's rant at the end of that movie.
Oh my God. You know what I want? I want my boss. Truly. I want him brought down from his happy holiday slumber on Melody Lane. And oh my God, I love that rant. That rant
it makes me feel like a kid every year when it's on at Christmas.
Yep.
Because it was a tradition in our house. That's what we watched shortly after Thanksgiving.
Yep. That's
that and the animated Grinch.
Yes.
Mark, what do you have for number 7?
Number 7, this is where I had Happy Gilmore. Love every bit of the movie. Beats the shit out of Bob Barker. Then Bob Barker kicks his ass.
You're going to die, Bob.
Oh, now you're going to get it, Bobby. You know, every time you're on the golf course, everybody has tried to do the Happy Gilmore.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Holy shit, you hit that guy. Shouldn't have been standing there. Classic in every sense of the word. Everybody knew Adam Sandler, but it just really put him on the map. And maybe unpopular opinion, I really thought Happy Gilmore was better than Billy Madison. They were both hilarious. I gravitated more to Happy Gilmore than Billy Madison. I'll still watch both, but if I have a choice, I watch.
Yeah, I'll watch all of them. But.
So
absolutely.
We laugh quite a bit at the whole scene of. Oh my God, that's the movie I forgot to put in here.
Nice job, Sparky.
Way to go, champ.
Now you're gonna get it, Timmy.
No, we laugh at the scene at the nursing home scene. You're in my world now, Grandma.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just that whole because
your back hurts, or your fingers hurt, your back's gonna hurt.
She works part-time in a nursing home, so every time I want her to say that. I want her. You're in my world now, Grandma. Oh my God!
No, I think I just killed that Mr. Lady.
Here's some food. Just go away.
Go away.
Oh my God! My number 7 is my first of my Will Ferrell movies that I have, and that's Talladega Nights.
Yep.
The Ballad of Ricky Bobby.
The Ballad of Ricky Bobby. That's one of those movies that if I see it on, I watch it.
Absolutely.
It's one of those
sucks
movies.
With commercials, though. It sucks.
It does.
You can watch some movies on TV, and it's like, okay, I get the gist of the whole movie. But that movie's so funny from like beginning to end, and they always cut out my favorite line in that movie. I'm Ricky Bobby. If you don't chew Big Red, then fuck you.
Fuck you. Yep.
The Jack 9000.
Jack. I mean, Brian and I do this. I don't know what to do with my hands.
What do I do with my hands? Bobby, put your hands down. Okay. But I don't know. What do I
real
do?
fast?
I mean, just that whole. Oh my God.
I'm on fire. I'm on fire.
Help
Ricky,
me, Tom Cruise.
I'm on fire. Help me.
You know what's actually the funniest scene in the movie is when like Ricky is like Carl comes and like takes his wife, and they're just in there like, Carl,
I just went to get the groceries.
Yeah.
And he's did you cut out my head?
I did. No, I thought it'd be easier for the kids.
The phone call later is even funnier. When Ricky's living with his mom.
Hey, you want to go over and play with all your stuff?
Wait, you stole my wife and you're calling me. Yeah, I know, but that doesn't mean we still can't be friends. No, yes, it does mean we still can't.
It literally means.
How's my house doing? Is everything okay?
Anarchy. Oh, I don't even know what it means. Oh God.
Ricky
so
Booby.
Oh, a lot of gayness in here.
I like crepes, them little tiny pancakes. I love them. They're delicious. You can put anything on them you want.
We gave you the missionary position.
Oh my God.
Okay.
6.
I forgot that line. 6.
Well, here's another quotable movie.
Oh shit!
It's The Hangover. The first Hangover movie.
I have that at number 6 as well.
Yes, all right. It's so good. It was a defining movie of its time.
Yeah.
It changed the way comedies were made. It paved the way for movies such as Bridesmaids and all the buddy movies that you see now. It launched Zach Galifianakis into the stratosphere.
Fact.
Yep.
Fact.
Yep.
And you could say kind of the same thing for Ed Helms too.
Yeah, as well as oh shit, Mr. Chow. I can't remember the actor.
Oh, Ken Jeong, who's an actual doctor.
He was a doctor.
What?
Yeah.
He was
a real doctor.
He was a real medical doctor.
He still is, I think.
I think he gave it up because his acting career really
practiced. But I think he's still a licensed medical professional.
I think so. He was a doctor.
I did not know that. You would never think that.
Oh, he was.
Oh.
He
medical
made the
doctor
movie.
Jumping out of a trunk, butt ass naked beating the shit out of people.
Where's Doug?
Doug.
Yeah, just the songs. Mike Tyson.
A
tiger.
Tigers love pepper. You're peppering the steak. Tigers love pepper. How do you know? It's a fact. Look it up.
I just know.
Indiana Jones had a satchel. It's a purse. Satchel.
It's not a purse. It's a satchel.
I mean, how many times
Carlos, he's jacking his little weenus.
Not at the tail, Carlos. Oh God, that whole movie though, just.
Mm-hmm.
I mean.
But is that movie as? All right, let me ask a quick question about this, and we'll move on real fast. Is that movie as funny if you take away Zach Galifianakis?
It would depend.
To me, he made those movies funny.
Yes.
Otherwise, that movie can be like not really a comedy, but it's more of a drama with a few moments.
Yes. Zach Galifianakis made the movie what it is, and it would depend on if you had him or a different comedian playing that role. I think
Chris Farley is still around, do you think he drops into that role?
Yeah.
No, I don't. Only because he would have been older.
I think Bill Murray could have done that role really well.
Like their crazy uncle that went with them to Vegas.
Yes.
Or younger Bill Murray. Like, what about Bob Bill Murray?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
why is that movie not on my fucking list? I love that movie. What about Bob? I mean, it can't be my best comedy.
And I didn't put Groundhog Day on there either, but that's not in my top 10. But I mean, I as well have The Hangover at number 6. For all these things that we've mentioned.
Hilarious.
What do you got at 6?
Number 6, that's where I put South Park, the movie.
Oh, yes.
You know, who didn't? If you grew up watching South Park, we grew up watching South Park. We grew up watching Beavis and Butthead. And then South Park came around, and it was a little more toned down, but it was also
a musical.
A little more in your face, right? I don't even have to describe what happened in South Park, the movie, because we all know it. We got songs like Cartman's Mom's Big Fat Bitch. We got
Uncle Fucker.
Blame Canada. which we all sing in unison when we go up north sometimes, and we're in the hotels and we're walking around drunk at 3 a.m, screaming "Blame Canada" in the hotel hallways.
Sun's still out in the summer.
Oh shit! One of my favorite movies of all time, and it changed my son's life when I let him watch it when he was like 5, 6. Look, I cuss a lot, and I'm open with it, and my kids are okay. They don't. They know when it's funny. They know that they're not supposed to do it, and so far through all the years, they don't. So we've let them have a little leeway, and we let them watch certain movies that maybe some people wouldn't let their 8 or 12-year-old watch.
You know what, Maki? I don't. Here's the thing: is and we're gonna. I'm gonna take 10 seconds to go a different route here. I cuss a lot.
Yep.
Like you.
Yep.
I cuss a lot at my house.
Yep.
It is what it is.
Yep.
My kids heard it.
Yep.
But they're respectful adults. They're 29, 28, and 23. They all have jobs. They all did what they needed to do. If what they did at the house was they might have said fuck, or they might have said damn, or shit.
Like, you know.
I never once heard a teacher complain about them. I never once heard another parent complain about my kids.
You're respectful in public. Be respectful when you're around the adults. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to lie and sit there and say Dom's playing Call of Duty and I never heard him say, "Ah, shit," when he gets sniped.
Right.
Because of course I have. But that's when you say that. It's not when you're in school and you're like, "Oh, I forgot my damn homework. Sorry." No, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you watched it with him and you explained it and you talked to him what it was, then it was a little bit more okay. And South Park was a cool little bridge kind of to that because it's a funny ass cartoon. And then you went to the movies because the show is about the kids going to the movies and hearing Terrence and Phillips swearing all over the place. Yep. So I took that as an opportunity to teach my kid teach my kid when and where and when is right. And just the whole concept of the movie was absolutely friggin' hilarious. Yeah. Oh, I love it. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I love South Park. So I got that at number 6. So we'll move on to 5 real quick because we spent a little time on that. Number 5, this is where I squeaked in. This might not be on your. This is a personal favorite of mine. I could quote this movie from opening to close. It's Dodgeball with Vince Vaughn and Ben Stiller. I'm not a Ben Stiller fan. I think he's dry. I don't like him as a comedian. I'm not a huge fan of him. However, it is the perfect role for a Ben Stiller to play in that movie.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Were you reading the dictionary? Yeah, I like to break a mental sweat too.
Yes. I did not have it on my top 10.
That's okay.
That was the one. That was the one that I said just a few minutes ago. I was like, oh my God, I forgot that. And I wrote it down.
It was Dodgeball.
It was Dodgeball.
Mm-hmm.
Vince Vaughn was fantastic in that movie. I like Vince Vaughn. I think he's a funny dude. Yep. I think he's a good actor. There are so many quotable things about that movie.
Oh my God.
It's so many funny, the whole, if you can dodge a ball, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. I mean,
he looked at Marsha Brady and said, "It's time to put your mouth where our balls are."
Yes.
You win. You've won my DVD player for the night. Thank you very much, good sir.
Thank you, Chuck Norris.
Thank you, Peter. I mean, Chuck Norris was in that movie. Captain Kirk himself, William Shatner, was in that damn movie. Rip Torn as the, oh my God, like if there's any
Milton
better character
is in that movie.
Oh, it ticked every single box on the I'm gonna go to the bar, get a bath, wash the drink, just whatever you do, wash your hands. Like it is just in every single way. It was hilarious, and there were very few swears in that movie, so even little kids could have watched.
Yeah, very few. Yeah,
very few. Yep. Very few.
Number 5 is where I had Super Troopers.
Okay. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't need to rehash
Number 5, I have Spaceballs. I'm a Star Wars junkie, so when I first saw it, I was like, "What have I stumbled upon?" From the droids being named Dot Matrix, and the Schwartz, and Yogurt, and Mel Brooks's, and Dark Helmet, and the quotable lines in that, "I'm surrounded by assholes," and It's amazing. And it's a comedy that everyone should see, especially if you're a Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
If you enjoy Blue Harvest and the Family Guy spoofs of Star Wars, you need to go back and watch Spaceballs because it's better.
Spaceballs, again, that is in my honorable mention. In my first iteration, that made the cut. And then as I started thinking a little more clearer about some other movies, it fell down a little bit. But Spaceballs was fantastic. It's a great Mel Brooks movie. Comb the desert. And they're out there with big Afro.
We ain't
found shit. And you had Brian, your fraternity nickname was
I'm Barf. Yes,
yeah.
I'm in a fraternity, and my nickname is Barf. It's because I'm half man, half dog. I'm my own best friend. I'm a Mog.
Love it.
Yep. Brian, what do you got for number 4? Actually, Maki, did we get you at number 5?
Did you get? I started at number 5 with Dodgeball. Yeah. Then we went to Brian. We haven't heard your number 5 yet.
Yeah, we did. I was Super Troopers.
Yeah.
Okay. Then why don't you start us off at number 4?
Number 4, I have another Will Ferrell classic. Not my favorite Will Ferrell yet. Of Anchorman at number 4.
Yes, hard to deny.
I have it on mine list. It's higher.
We could spend all show discussing Will Ferrell and Anchorman, and
Ron Burgundy.
Ron Burgundy, and he again shows his brilliance as an actor and comedian in this movie.
Agreed.
Bar none.
He's another one of the few comedians that have come out, like either from the SNL ladder or whatnot, that you could actually label as comedic genius.
Yes.
In every sense of it.
Yep. So that's my number 4. Brian, what do you got number 4?
My number 4 is the newer variety, and it is Superbad. When I first saw Superbad, I knew it was special, and I knew Judd Apatow had a whole bunch of guys and gals in his friends list that were going to make him a lot of money, and they sure have, guys. This is the first movie you see Jonah Hill in.
Yep.
It's one of the first movies Michael Cera's in. It's one of these very first Judd Apatow movies, and it's so good because it harkens back to a Ferris Bueller's Day Off type 80s angsty
it's
comedy.
Yeah. But the good thing and the best thing about Superbad, and again, another one that's on my honorable mention, is it's not just a good comedy. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's really, I mean, yes, the everything about it is the undertone of comedy, but it's just a good movie as well. But then, Superbad, it also takes me to like the next generation of like Neighbors.
I love Neighbors. Great movie, funny. But again, Superbad was that start of those types of movies. Oh yeah.
So
the Judd Apatow movies, yeah.
Yeah. Maki, what do you got at number 4?
So number 4, I'm gonna kick it back to the 90s a little tiny bit. I've always been a Jim Carrey fan. It's hard, except for Cable Guy. Cable was like his first serious attempt at drama, and we were all kind of like.
But that still was funny.
It was. I'm a Cable Guy fan, but it's not in my like comedy list of movies I remember him for. Number 4 for me is I have him as Dumb and Dumber, because that was everything that 13-year-old Maki wanted to see when he was 13 years old in a movie. I just laughed every bit of my ass off. He sold the truck and bought a moped. Like
Cam Neely beats the shit out of him.
Kick his ass, Seabass.
Kick his ass, Seabass. How many times have you said that in your life? Like,
all the time.
Because it was Cam Neely, it was more special to us.
I agree completely. So many Samsonite. I was like all the so many
way off.
Are those your skis? Both of them.
Both of them. Like it was. They tried to do better with the other ones, and it just fell short. Because Dumb and Dumber to me is like one of Jim Carrey's coup de grace. It was magnum opus, or however you want to call it, like his standalone, this could be the best thing he ever did.
Look at the ass on that.
Yeah.
He must work out.
He must work out. I'm talking about going someplace warm. I'm talking about Aspen.
Oh my God.
I fucking love it. Absolutely love it.
So again, one of those movies that's quotable and
sit down, smoke a bowl, and just die laughing for an hour and a half. Legit.
I got one like that here. We're gonna crack the top 3, and my top 3 starts with The 40-Year-Old Virgin. Absolute epic movie. One of my favorites. The whole chest waxing scene is iconic. And it's funny to me because I collect toys and nostalgia and shit. So like when they're talking about putting his toys on eBay, I'm like, don't do that. I don't care.
Right.
Don't do that. You'll miss that. But it's just funny because Steve Carell's hilarious in it, and it was kind of his coming out party. But again, look at who his friends are. It's Seth Rogen, and the situations they're put in. The poker game is such a great scene. For anybody who hasn't seen that, it's a great movie.
Yep.
Really good movie.
My crack in the top 3 is my favorite Will Ferrell movie of all time. Step Brothers.
Hard to argue that.
I won't say much because we'll hear it later from me too.
I can't. That is the one I shouldn't say the one movie that I will stop everything and watch, because I will do that with quite a bit. But that is the one where Angie and I still remember Angie and I going to the movies and seeing that. We went to Brunswick.
I can remember you telling me to see it when I was in college. You texted me and you're like, you need to see this movie.
It is the only movie that I have seen in a movie theater where I literally fell out of my seat because I was laughing so hard. And Angie looked and she's laughing, and my gut hurt because it was John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell together. I mean, look,
their parents are funnier though.
Oh my God, their parents are great. It's just, I'm not going to go on and on about it. It is my top 3 best comedic movies of all time, bar none, period, end of story. Don't Pass Go, collect $200, whatever.
So my number 3 is, I thought about this, the top 3, I've changed it like 5 times. And it's been difficult to come up with my top 3. But for my number 3 movie, I have to say Austin Powers 1 and 2 together. I can't decide on which one I like better. They were so good. They, in my opinion, personally, both of them were just as funny as each other. They built on characters we already knew and made it just as funny. And I can quote both movies up, down, left, right. I can put them in, and I've seen both of the movies 1,000 times, and I can laugh my ass off. If I had to pick one, I'd have to pick the second one, because we knew we knew Dr. Evil, we knew Austin Powers, and we knew what to expect from them. And to me, because Vanessa became a Fenbot, the girl that was his love interest.
Right in the beginning,
Right in the beginning. Yeah. And wait a tick, I'm single again. I'm a huge Mike Myers mark, just in general. Right?
No. I again, that's another one of those that I had in my first iteration.
Yep.
And then moved it down to my list of honorable mentions.
I legit could not have a top 10 comedy movies and not put Austin Powers in there somewhere.
Of course.
Just other ones. And it had to be in the top 5. And I'm just like, okay, it's got to be number 3, because number 2 and 1 are pretty much set at this point.
My number 2, we've already talked about. Anchorman, we talked about that.
Yep.
What do you got for 2, Tim?
My number 2 is I'm going British. I'm going Monty Python. Holy
yes.
It's a dry humor. The entire movie is a dry humor. My wife can't stand it. She literally will look and be like.
Some people just don't understand it.
No, and that's one of those movies that, again, it's an older movie. I don't think this would play. I don't think you could make this movie now.
No, I don't think you could.
Not because you'd offend people, but because this type of comedy was just. It's a bizarre comedy.
It's like how Death to Smoochie is, and if you haven't seen Death to Smoochie with Robin Williams,
Death to Smoochie is one of the best drama / comedy / psycho thrillers you'll ever watch.
Yeah.
It is fucking twisted.
So I won't keep going about Python, but it's just I love the movie. I love everything about it. I love the comedy. I mean, the whole coconuts and just
the rabbits. It's got big teeth.
It's got big teeth.
Burn the witch. She turned me into a newt. I got better.
'Tis just a flesh wound, but I've cut your leg off. No, you haven't. Yes, I have. That whole. So yeah, I got Monty Python Quest for the Holy Grail at number 2.
Marky, awesome. What's your 2?
Number 2, keeping it Jim Carrey here. Number 2, you mentioned Ace Ventura 1 earlier. I personally thought Ace Ventura 2 was funnier. Ace Ventura 3 was terrible. I didn't like it. But the second Ace Ventura, I almost peed my pants in the movies, laughed out loud too many times.
Bumblebee tuna. Bumblebee tuna. Your balls are showing.
Your balls are showing. Bumblebee tuna. They get him at the monastery, and he goes, "There's one more thing I must do before I go." And he does a fucking slinky coming all the way down.
Go, Slinky, go!
It is the most slapstick, stupid, mindless comedy, but that is why it is some of the fun. So a lot of people say the second movies aren't as good, sequels aren't as good. I tend to disagree about a lot of them, because in a lot of them, the second movie, you've gotten to know the characters.
Yeah.
If sequels are done right, you've gotten to learn the characters.
Secret of the Ooze.
Correct. Far superior to the original Turtles. Maybe that's an unpopular opinion, but I believe it's far superior. But a lot of sequels, if done right, you can already get the know-how of who the characters are, what makes them tick, and how they are. And you've already seen them do some of the stupid shit in the first movies that they've done. Now, how are they going to impress you again? Mm-hmm. And Ace Ventura 2 made me laugh twice as hard as Ace Ventura 1. And again, huge Jim Carrey. Maybe just because when I grew up, as I was late teens, early 20s, that was Jim Carrey's time in the world. From like 1996 to 2005. Every comedy that came out had Jim Carrey in it, and every one of them raked in hundreds of millions of dollars at the box office. It's hard to deny him of having some of the funny. But again, same thing. Right after Jim Carrey came the Will Ferrell and all them type movies. So it's all personal preference, I suppose.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So that does that. So now we get to the number 1, and I have a funny feeling listening to the fellas' list that, Timmy, you and I have the exact same
I am going to guarantee right now in the history of Evers, you and I have the same exact number 1.
I'll get mine out of the way early. It was Step Brothers. It is the funniest movie I've ever seen. It makes me laugh. I will stop and watch it no matter when it's on. Yep. Kelly hates hearing the quotes of it. She hates hearing Tim and I quote it together.
That's what makes it funnier sometimes.
Exactly. Tim is my Brennan. I believe I'm Dale. I think he's Brendan because he is the songbird of his generation.
I am. I am the songbird of our generation.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's touching.
It's number 1 is Blazing Saddles.
All day.
The only reason it's not for me is I haven't seen it.
I am going to send you my DVD copy of Blazing Saddles in the mail. You can give it back to me next time I see you. Watch it, and your opinion will be like...
Oh, it's got to be on Prime or something like that.
Yeah, I'm dead serious, Brian.
I'll watch it tomorrow. Should I watch it with Colin?
I know your sense of humor. He won't understand anything of it, so sure.
It was another movie, just like with The Jerk and with Airplane. When I was a little boy, I am literally just a male version of my mom. My mom cusses a lot. She smokes a lot. She's the same person as I am. So, and I have her exact same sense of humor. So when I was a kid, she went, this is another movie. Like when my sister would be up at her friend's, I grew up in an apartment building. So when my sister was up at her friend's house upstairs, my mom would be like, we're going to watch this. And she'd pull the tape out of her room because it wouldn't be one that's for VCR for all you young people. We used to call them tapes.
Yeah.
But she'd pull the tape out of her bedroom because she wouldn't let it stay in the other VCR tapes that we had in the parlor, in that little rack. So she'd pull it out of her bedroom and we sat and watched Blazing Saddles, unedited. And she explained to me, look, first of all, right now, we've said this movie does not get made in 2020. This movie does not get made anytime from 2010 on. It just does not. Okay. But in a different time, people used to laugh at this shit and move on with their lives because the story of the movie, the context was funny. It wasn't just, oh, I got to yell at you because, no, the context of the movie, it made sense for the era and the people that were in it and that it was made for.
Yep.
Okay, so if you can get the now social everything today out of your brain and sit and watch this movie, there is no way you watch Blazing Saddles and you do not die laughing 20 minutes into it.
Oh, at least. At least. It is one of the Gene. I'm not a huge Gene Wilder fan, but he was fantastic in this movie.
He's like, to me, it's funny you mentioned him. I've always thought of Gene Wilder as the before generation Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
Like Ben Stiller to me is real dry. It's very difficult to get like a lot of emotion out of him and make him like into a character type thing. Gene Wilder was always like that. But this part, the bit part that Gene plays in Blazing Saddles is literally perfect for him.
The only thing I know of Blazing Saddles is one scene that my buddy showed me where they're in the jail and he's like, what do you want to do? Well, play chess.
What do you like?
Let's play chess.
Let's play chess.
Yep. You know, you had Slim Pickens in this. Cleavon Little, who played he played the sheriff.
Yep.
You know, of course, Mel Brooks wrote it, directed it.
Mongo.
You know, Madeline Kahn. I mean, even Mel Brooks, of course, he's in all of his movies anyway.
He played the cross-eyed governor.
Yep.
Walk.
Governor Lepetame.
Hello, honey. How you doing over there?
Oh, yeah.
Walk.
Alex Karras played Mongo. I mean, it was just... It's one of those...
I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Yeah.
Give the governor a harumph.
Would Andre have been better as Mongo?
No.
The big dorky goofy guy that they had play, I don't know the guy's name offhand.
Alex Karras.
Perfect.
Yeah.
For the big Western, like, idiot, basically the big tough idiot that had nothing for brains but $1 million in brawn.
Yep.
Perfect. Like and they used to say one thing about Slim Pickens. He plays obviously the head outlaw in the movie. He's the wicked bad guy who like conspires with the under governor or whatever that guy's name was to go in and destroy the town of Rock Ridge. He legit lived his life as a cowboy. He didn't play that bit. Like I've seen behind the scenes on that, like on the director's cut of the DVD. They have a lot of behind the scenes stuff. And they said that at night when they were legitimately filming in the desert, that he wouldn't go into his trailer and sleep in the bed. He'd sleep out under the stars. He'd make a fire and cook his can of beans and eat his bread and stuff like that. That he like legit kind of lived that life. And also, in case anybody in this podcast or anybody watching this podcast is ever on Jeopardy, the movie Blazing Saddles is the first time in cinematic history that you heard anybody fart in a movie for real.
Yep.
It was the first time anybody ever, and of course the fart sound was fake. It wasn't like real fart. It was somebody going into a microphone like going, like it was fake. But it didn't matter. He stood up and he one cheek sneaked around the campfire where all the guys were eating bread and beans and do yourself a favor. Take 2020's politics out of your life and put Blazing Saddles in your DVD player and just laugh for 2 hours. I promise you do.
I mean, it's number one. You couldn't make the movie now anyway, just because.
God no.
Of the whole, we won't go into it, but the Black Lives Matter and everything else. The comedic genius of Mel Brooks is from beginning to end is and I've used comedic genius quite a bit tonight, or today on this
because
podcast.
We've labeled a few comedic geniuses.
Yes, we have.
Yep.
And it's
movies that have changed culture and shit like that, shaped culture.
Oh, but it was made in 1974.
Yep.
And it's just as funny now. And honestly, it's more funny now for me because I'm older.
Yeah.
And I know more things than I did when I was, 17 watching this, when I thought it was funny. So,
I mean, Higgins from Magnum P.I. was in the movie. He played one of the 800 Howard Johnson lineage guys. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
It's
Brian,
funny. They walk by Howard. This is the last thing. They walk by a Howard Johnson's in the Old West, and it says now up to 2 flavors. Remember how Howard Johnson's was supposed to be like the 101 flavors place? Now serving 2 flavors. There's so many little Easter eggy things that were in that. Oh my God.
Yeah. Brian, what'd you have number 1?
Step Brothers.
That's right. Okay. We get talking about Blazing Saddles, and I just, and I'll tell you though, some of the movies that I left off, if I go down through this, Blues Brothers, Napoleon Dynamite,
great movie. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Good Morning Vietnam.
I didn't even think of that, but you know what? That was a really good movie.
Yep.
Great Robin Williams movie.
Borat.
I didn't like Borat. There's a couple quotes in it that were funny. I wasn't a huge fan.
Porky's.
Oh yeah.
If I go
Revenge
to
of the Nerds.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Yes.
Fast Times
at Ridgemont High. Stripes. Better Off Dead. That is one of my favorite 80s movies. Is Better Off Dead. I want my $2.
The list goes so far on. Like with comedy movies, they're movies that more people gravitate to, I believe, more so than most. Mm-hmm. At least it gives you a nice escape from reality, from the torture and bullshit of being an adult in the world. You can just go to a place, buy an $8 popcorn and a $9 non-refillable soda, for fuck's sake. And you can just sit down for an hour and a half and just laugh and forget about the world. And you can just laugh and put yourself in stupid situations and just have so much. I've always gravitated more towards comedy and sci-fi, because they just take you out of the element of the world. I'm an escapist. I enjoy escapism from the day-to-day grind of everything else. And those 2 genres, it really just provides something different. Laughing one way and then optimistic or pessimistic view of the future, depending on what you look at or whatnot. You're a big Star Wars fan, B. I'm a huge Star Trek fan. There's just so many genres of life that we can look into, but comedies are always, I think it's something most people can.
I'm getting ready to start to watch The Next Generation, so
you'll like it.
It's on my next list. King of the Hill is right now. I'm watching King of the Hill again.
So
good show, boys.
Good show. We went over a little bit, but that's a good list. We'll do a couple more as we move on.
We should do action movies.
Ooh.
I just thought of my number 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, Next Friday we will be doing top 10 action movies.
Let's do them. Let's do a couple of weeks of top 10s. Why the hell not?
Yep.
Yeah. So let us know, what are your top 10 action movies?
Action movies. All right. So, as usual, folks, get us your lists, get us your questions, get us your comments. You can reach us, rippingtherackpodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter. Soon to be Instagram. I almost forgot where I was going with that.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say OnlyFans. I thought we were finally going to get there.
No, not yet. Ripping the Rack Podcast. Brian, where else can they listen to us, watch us, view us?
Well, you can treat your eardrums to a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday and Friday morning every week with the satin pillow that is the Triforce Tri-Hosts on Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor, Breaker, Google Podcasts, and wherever else you listen to your podcasts.
That was said very satiny, smooth, very David Allen Boucher.
Oh yeah,
bedtime magic back in the day. That was beautiful.
Ooh, that was beautiful, Brian.
I'm feeling inspired to be creative.
Shaft action, little dump dining.
Who are those hosts that host the host?
Anywho, guys, have a great one.
Shaft.
You damn right.
Let's see. Don't forget to watch these guys on Twitch on Sunday evenings. Johnny Death Drop.
There's the dudes right there.
Dudes and Belts. You got these two. You can see these magnificent faces, minus Timmy Vader. And then again, Tuesday
I'll wear my Timmy Vader shirt so they can see your face.
Nice. Appreciate it. All right. Take care. Have fun and be safe, all.